one holding it all together, every project, every fire, all that stuff. You're not leading, you're surviving. And the brutal thing is, no one's going to tell you that. They're going to tell you that you're the visionary, the glue, the one who makes it all work. But what they won't say is this: being the glue is exhausting and it's totally unsustainable. It's a trap that too many founders get stuck in because they don't know that there's another way. So today we're going to talk about that founder glue trap, what it feels like, why it's so common, and how you can start pulling yourself out of it before it burns you out for good. So this is the first live in a series that I'm going to be doing. And if any part of this hits home, you're going to want to be at the full training that's dropping next Monday. I'll walk you through the structure I use with founders to pull them out of this trap. And I promise you it's different than anything you've heard or tried before. But first, let's talk about what it really feels like to be the glue. When you're the glue, your nervous system is on a constant loop. You wake up thinking, what's on fire? What's behind? What did the team drop yesterday that I have to pick up? Your phone probably lights up before you've even had a chance to breathe. And text messages from your team members who, they just have a quick question or a notification from a client. Or you've got an inbox that's full of tiny decisions that no one else feels empowered to even make. And so you do it because you're the one who remembers all of the different moving parts. You're the one who can see the vision and the cracks at the same time. And you're the one who steps in because you care, right? But over time, that responsibility, it turns into weight. And that weight turns into a pattern, and that pattern becomes the trap. So you stop dreaming because you're too busy troubleshooting, or you stop trusting your team because even when they're good, they still default back to you. And then you start thinking about what would it be like just to walk away from it all? Not because you want to quit, but because you're tired of being the only one holding the whole thing together. So let's name this for what it is. I'm sorry, but that's not leadership, my friends. That is survival in disguise. And if that's where you are right now, let me be the one to say, you're not crazy, you're not failing, and you're not alone. But you are operating from a broken structure. So let's talk about what this is really costing you, because it's not just stress. It's not just time. It's capacity. When you're the glue, your business might look successful from the outside. Revenue strong, team likes you, you're hitting all your goals. But underneath all of that, you're the one bearing the weight of everything, which means you can't scale without scaling on your back. You can't rest without consequences, and you can't even think strategically because you're buried in the tactical. Now, here's the wild part. Most founders think that that's just how leadership feels. Like, this is the price that I have to pay for being the one at the top. But that's a lie that the industry has sold you. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to feel like this. The issue isn't you. It's not that you're too nice or too soft or too controlling. It's that your structure hasn't evolved to match your leadership. So I've worked with founders across all different kinds of industries, from scrappy solopreneurs to tens of millions of dollar operations. And here's what I've seen over and over and over again. Most businesses aren't broken. They're just misaligned. The people are capable, the product is pretty strong, the vision is clear, but the internal structure, the way that decisions get made, the way that the team moves, the way that leadership gets experienced, that's where the drag is coming from. Think of it like this. You're trying to run a powerful business with a structure that was only designed to support you, not replace you. That's the core issue. Because as long as the structure relies on you to hold it all together, you're always going to feel like you're falling behind, even when you're ahead. You'll always feel like you're the one who has to think of everything. You'll always be the fallback. Here's the worst part of all of it. The bigger you grow, the heavier it gets, because success without structure just magnifies your pressure. So let's take a big deep breath, because I want to tell you something that's really important. If you see yourself in what I've been describing, it doesn't mean you're a bad leader. It means you've been leading without the support that you actually need. You've outgrown the scaffolding that was supposed to hold the business, not the other way around. You were never meant to be the center of every decision. You were never meant to be the system. But if you don't have an operating structure that distributes responsibility, that trains your team to own outcomes, that embeds rhythm in your calendar and clarity into your leadership, then being the glue becomes the only option. Not because you want control, but because there's nothing else strong enough in place to hold the business without you. So here's your shift. We stop trying to fix the surface, the team, the meetings, the calendar. We start fixing the foundation, the way your business is structured to run without needing you to hold every piece together. And when you start building real structure into your leadership, everything starts to shift. You don't just delegate, you install decision rhythms. You don't just set meetings, you create flow. And you don't just tell your team, take more ownership, you actually show them how. Here's what it looks like in practice. Your team starts solving problems before they ever bring them to you. Your decisions get clearer because you're not drowning in low-level noise, and your meetings shrink as your margin expands. Then your team starts leading back. Now, this isn't theory. This is what I've helped founders install again and again across all different kinds of industries. And no, it won't take 6 months. Some founders can feel that shift in the first week because when the structure starts working, so do you. And your nervous system, it finally gets to breathe. So what's the alternative to being the glue? It's being the designer. The one who creates the structure that makes leadership lighter. The one who brings intentionality to how decisions are really made and how time is spent, how people move, and how growth is sustained. The designer isn't less involved. They're just more strategic. They're not carrying the business, they're directing it, while the structure carries the weight. And when you shift into that mode, leadership starts to feel like freedom again. Not ease, not escape, but empowered alignment. You start to show up not just with answers, but with real clarity, and you become the kind of leader who doesn't just survive business growth, but thrives in it. That's what structure makes possible. And listen, I know how hard you've worked. I know how much you care. You didn't build this business just to feel like it owns you. You didn't hire people just to stay as the fallback to everything. You built this to make an impact, to create something that lasts, and to lead in a way that reflects your values, not just your tasks. And you can do that. But the path there isn't more hustle. It's not another system. It's structure, the kind that holds you. And that's what I'm teaching in the webinar coming up on Monday. Now, if this life hits something in you, if you're done being the glue, if you're ready to build something that breathes instead of breaks you, then you've got to be there. It's free. It's 50 minutes, and it's going to change the way you lead forever. In that time, I'll walk you through the exact operating system that I've used to help founders go from reactive to rooted, from exhausted to empowered. And you'll see how it works. You'll see why it's different. And you'll see how fast you can start to feel the shift. So mark it down on your calendar. The webinar goes live Monday. It's called the Founders Glue Trap. And it's the start of a completely different leadership future. I hope that I see you there. Now, if no one's told you this lately, let me be the one. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just ready for something stronger. So let's build that. I'm going to be back here on Friday to give another peek behind the curtain on the webinar. Come check it out, share the message, and let's start a movement together. I'll see you guys on Friday.